to another episode of the Amen to Success podcast. I am your host, Laurentia, and today we have a very special guest, Miss Nancilyma. We're going to dive into her life so far, what she has going on, her business. It's going to be a very fun conversation. So
Yeah.
tune in. Hi, Miss Nancy. How you doing?
Hi, Laurentia. I'm good. And you?
Good, good, good. Are we calling you Mrs. now or just still Miss?
Not yet. We got a couple more weeks that it's official, but right now.
Right, exactly. Awesome,
Yeah.
awesome. So let's get right in. So go ahead and introduce yourself.
So my name is Nancilyma. Most people don't know that my first name is Nancilyma, but I go by Nancy. 29 years. Came here when I was 29. Originally born in Ghana, but I've been here since I was 10. So I've been here for about 19 years now. I currently work as a nurse practitioner and an RN
Mhm.
at various locations. And I just recently started a business by the name and Adu. Um, so there really isn't, much going on. Just working as usual. Um,
Right.
yeah.
Well, you have a lot going on if you ask me.
Yeah. Yeah. A
Exactly.
whole lot, but
Busy woman. That's
what can you
awesome.
do? Yeah.
All right. So let's start from the beginning, right? Tell us
Right.
about your childhood, your parents, were you born in Ghana or were you raised here, your
Right.
siblings, anything you want to share?
Sure. So, as I stated earlier, I was born in Ghana. I came here when I was 9, almost 10, I guess, because we came in November. My birthday is in February. So I came here when I was 9, almost 10. I'm the first child of 3 girls, oldest. Both my parents are here with me in the US, as well as my sisters are here. Well, majority of my family members are here. And then I have some all over London, some back
Hmm.
in Ghana, all over like everybody
Yeah.
else. So I've been here for quite a while. We've been living in the Bronx mostly since we've been here. Um, let's see what else. Growing up in Ghana, I mean, I didn't really get to experience a lot. I have a lot of friends that I guess grew up when they were in Ghana and they came here when they were in their like teenage years. And, sometimes they talk about when they're in JSS and all these exams they took. And I can't relate to any of that. When I came, I had just finished class 5 and I was going to 6th grade. So I didn't experience
Wow.
any of the JSS or SS things. And I didn't
Mhm.
really have a lot of friends when I was leaving because I was really young. So back in Ghana, I think I only have like 1 or 2 friends, childhood friends um, that I normally, visit when I go to Ghana. But I
Mm.
was, I really left when I was really young. So going back to Ghana, I don't really have a lot of friends that are there that I normally hang out with because most of my friends are here. And technically, I would say that I grew up, or most of my life have been here.
Yeah.
So, um, it's just that's one thing I always wish I had a lot of friends growing up, like my GSS friends. And then when I go to Ghana, I really have a lot of people to hang with.
Yes.
Favorite thing for me. So it's just like making new friends every time you go and get
It's
to know
so
people.
annoying. That's one
Yeah.
thing I wish I had too. Like coming here at a young age, that's one part that's missing. Like,
Right, exactly.
that sucks.
So
Every time I go, it's just like my family
right,
that I hang
exactly.
out.
When I go, like I always have to go stay at my grandparents' place or my aunt's place. You know,
Yeah.
other than that, like I don't really have any other friends or,
Mhm.
anything like that.
Right. Awesome. So, growing up, what were your career goals, or what did you aspire to be when you got older?
Well, I don't want to growing up, medicine was my thing. Science was my
Really?
thing. Math was my
Okay.
thing. It just happened to be that African math science. I happened to fall in that category. But that was my thing. I always knew I wanted to be in the medical field. Don't ask me how I knew, but I just knew from growing up. Um, I had a lot of family members that suffered from stroke. Even till this
Mm.
day, it's one thing that my granddad died from stroke, my uncle died from stroke. So it was like something that was around me when I was growing up, and it was just quite fascinating having to see that they're dying from this sort of disease. But obviously, I didn't get to know all that till I was like maybe in middle school when I started knowing more about, science and medical terms and, some little things like that. So I started leaning more towards science and math because plus that was what I was actually very good at. History and English, weren't really my thing. So plus tree is my first language. So
Exactly.
but yeah, so I leaned more towards that, and that became the base, foundation of me wanting to go into medical school, and that was the goal eventually. Um,
Mm-hmm.
and then I went to college, and American life, American college, everything
Mm-hmm.
just shifted,
Yeah.
in terms of my concentration and everything. Just, I mean, it was there. I studied. I would say I did bare minimum. I didn't go over the top. I knew I wanted to have fun. I was in college. Everybody wanted to have fun.
Mm-hmm.
But I did bare minimum of my studies of what I wanted to do. And after I graduated out of Syracuse with my bachelor's in science in chemistry.
Nice.
Chemistry. I don't know how I ended up in chemistry, but that was another
Whew.
story. I initially went in as pre-med biology major. And then along the way, I started slacking. I wasn't really interested in biology at some point. And then I was like, okay, I'm actually pretty good. I'm better in math than any other subject. So let me try and just switch over my major to math major. Mind you, this was like my second and a half year already in college.
Mm.
Switching over to math would have been like a whole new, but I was like, okay, I'm up for the challenge. I'll do it because I'm really good. And okay, went into math. I thought I was good. I was pretty good. Passed all my, and then I went to a class called Proofs, a math class. Oh my, I was the only Black girl in that class. The whole class was Chinese. I mean, it
Wow.
was like maybe 25 people. Um, but it was all Asian people, and I was the only Black girl there. And let's just say that class did not go so well. I think out of all my schooling of 20 something years of school, that was the first class I ever failed. And
Mm.
that just, and because I was so far ahead, I was almost in my 30, I didn't have any other, I didn't have time to slack. So I had to
Yeah.
really switch gears real quick. And the next best thing was to go to
Mhm.
chemistry. And that's why I ended up going to chemistry major. Because at that time, I had already had most of the prerequisites to finish my degree on time to get my chemistry degree. Because if I went back to biology, I would be way behind. So I ended up.
Oh, so you already had your prereqs to finish chemistry, not the
Right,
math,
because
but chemistry. Okay.
most of the classes were math classes. Most of them were,
Mm-hmm.
yeah, most of them were math classes, most of them were physics classes. And when you're doing a math major, you kind of like the courses kind of interlock with each other, like they're intertwined. So I had finished pretty much most of the requirements that I needed to get my degree in chemistry. So I was like,
Mm-hmm.
okay, since already taking most of the classes, I'll just switch over to chemistry so I can graduate on time because I didn't want to
Right.
spend another year in college doing, other classes. So that's how I landed on that. And, thank God I graduated out of college with my bachelor's in chemistry. And uh,
Okay.
so after that, I didn't really graduate with the best GPA to really get me to medical school. That's
Mm.
where the little struggles came in because I always wanted to go to medical school. I always wanted to be a doctor.
Yeah.
But clearly, college got the best of me, partying and
Mm.
all that good stuff. GPA wasn't right. So I took a year off after college. And so, yeah, after I took the year off, a year and a half to really figure out what I wanted to do. I was like, maybe I should try into PA school, And then,
You
after
said PA. What's that?
physician assistant to go to a
Oh,
physician.
oh, okay, okay, okay. Gotcha.
So I was like, okay, because I knew I still wanted to be in the medical field whatsoever, but I just wanted to know exactly what specialty I wanted to get into. So thought about PA, like and then my mom and dad kept talking about nursing because my dad is a nurse. I'm like, okay. I never wanted to be a nurse. That was never my thing. I was like, my dad is a nurse. Why do I want to be a nurse? I'm like, no. But then I got there and I'm like, I don't really have a lot of options. Let me try it out. And I applied to one school. That's all I applied to. I was like, I don't really know if this is gonna work or not. And I got accepted. So
Wow, it was in New York.
yes, Utica College, upstate. Yeah. At that time I was already home. And I've been around the Syracuse area, obviously. So I was like,
Okay.
okay, I'll just apply there. And then, so that's how I ended up going back to Syracuse.
Into Nice, nice. So now with, after you've gotten your nursing degree, right? You went to the
Yep.
nursing
Once
school
a
and
yep, I went. Yep.
you got a degree and everything. How difficult was it for you to get employment after you graduated?
I actually had a job before I graduated. I had
Wow.
a job before, like, yeah, a month or two before graduation, even
That's
before
good.
taking my boards or anything. So before I graduated, I started looking for jobs because I'm like, I'm sure it takes some time for you to get hired and whatnot. So I started applying and I got a couple. I think I got two interviews. I got accepted to both, but I chose the other one obviously because it was a state hospital. But
Mm,
I would say it wasn't hard at all. I feel like because of the profession that I'm in, it's almost impossible for you not to get a job, even if you like.
yeah.
And also, it depends on the area, the location that you're applying for jobs. Obviously, applying for jobs here in the city is much harder than upstate. Upstate, you apply for jobs within a month, you're guaranteed to get a job, a nursing job. So it wasn't really hard for me at all, um, getting that job. But like I said, I got it before I graduated and I took my boards, and that was
Yeah.
exciting for me. So
Yeah. That's awesome.
very exciting.
So within your first year of like working in nursing, what was your biggest challenge? I've heard some horror stories, but what was your like biggest challenge your first year
Uh,
entering the field?
my biggest challenge, and still till today, not even maybe not a challenge or my biggest fear, or the thing is not killing anyone.
Oh
That's the
Lord,
biggest
knock
thing.
on wood.
Seriously, that's the biggest thing. Not even that, God forbid, but making major mistakes that might get your license revoked or
Mm,
God forbid
yeah.
imprisonment. Because this job is no joke. As we may joke around with it, people's life are at stake. You are
Hmm.
taking care of people. You are responsible. We have most of the connections, most of the interactions with the patients more than any other profession that is
Yeah.
working with the patient. We're with them almost 24/7. So
Hmm.
everything that you do counts.
Yeah.
So my biggest challenge to me is just um, we all make mistakes, but not making any mistake that's gonna cost me.
Yeah.
That's cost my license. That's gonna cost because it's hard earned money, time, and all that, and it's very unfortunate to one little mistake can just have all that taken away. So
Hmm.
and I'm just dealing with patients and their family members is definitely another challenge.
Goodness.
Not just in nursing, just in life, any job, any career that has to do with working with people, it's so hard. Like you just have to have a lot of patience and dealing with them because it's just everybody's from different backgrounds, different
Yeah.
upbringings, and you clash patients. It's just patient is always right, customer is always right, kind of thing. So it's like you got to learn how to work with them well and also be professional at the same time.
Exactly.
So it's
Exactly.
that's a big challenge.
Wow.
That's a major challenge. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, you obviously, enjoy doing the job and everything because, I mean, because now you furthered your education, right?
Right.
You
Yep.
went on. So how long were you working as it was an RN before you moved on to the
Right.
next stage?
So this kind of stems back to what I wanted to do initially when I was a kid. Like I said, I always wanted to be a doctor. What I wanted was, what I saw myself was being in an office setting, not people coming to me, but being in an office setting, having my own population, group of people that come in and I see them from childhood, from like young to old. Because you right now as an FNP or as a regular doctor or internal doctor, if you're not specialized in, let's say, pediatrician or women's or anything, most of your patients stem from like teenage to like 100. You see the whole lifespan of patients. So that's kind of what I saw myself being in the office, seeing a variety of patients, just coming in, taking care of them. Like I said, nursing was never really my thing, being at the bedside, and it's a lot. It takes a lot, and it takes a special kind of person to do that job. It's not easy. It's not
Mhm.
easy. It is not easy. And I will reinforce that again. It is not easy at all. So the reason why I went back to school so quick was I was an RN for a year, literally not even a year, almost. I was almost at my 1 year mark when I started
Wow.
applying to and preschool, because I wanted to get away from the bedside setting. I wanted to be my own profession. I wanted to be my own setting, my own office, patients coming in to see me and, treating them and whatnot. So that was the drive. That's what pushed me to go back to school so soon, because I wanted to get out of that environment. Not that I hate it. I like it, but it's a lot. It's a lot. I personally don't feel like it's for me. Um, so that's what pushed me to get away from that setting. At the end of the day, I'm still in the medical field, treating people the way they're supposed to be treated,
Mm-hmm.
which kind of fulfills what I wanted to be when I was young. So
Right.
yeah, I was only worked for maybe 10 months, and then I applied for my master's, and within the year mark, I had started my master's, and then it took me 2 years, and then
To finish it.
I
So you were
finished.
working while going to school.
Yeah, I was working full time.
Oh, girl.
I was working full time and going to school full time. That was, I
And
mean,
you finished in 2 years.
2 years
That's
full,
amazing. Wow.
because going back to school, I didn't want to do part time. When I go to school, I want to get in and get out. I
Yeah.
don't want to be
Yeah.
long. I don't want to. It's just gonna make me feel lazy, and so it was not easy. And school was an hour drive from where I lived, so I would go to school, drive back, get back, take a 30-minute nap, go to work 12 hours, come back. It was, only God knows how
Girl.
I did it.
Yeah. Only God. You're right. Only God
Yeah, only
knows.
God knows how I did it, but I did it. And then towards the
Awesome.
end, the half of the second year, I had decided to move back home here in the Bronx. So I was driving
Okay.
3 hours from the Bronx to school
To school.
a week.
Girl, that's 6 hours out of your day. Probably seven, counting traffic and stops,
Yeah,
gas, and
6 hours every day,
wow.
2 days a week to go to school.
While working.
Yeah, while working. Yep.
Girl, we
It was,
need to add superhuman or something to your name because there's nothing you can't do. If
it
you
was,
can do that, there's
it was,
nothing you cannot do.
yeah. I don't know how, honestly, to this day, when I think about it, I don't know how, but it
Yeah.
happened. And then thank God, and I want to say thank God, but COVID hit, and then, classes started being cut down.
True.
And
Okay.
then, but that was until like March, April, when school was almost over. So
Over.
between August, September till March, I was doing all that driving.
Mm.
It was just,
Wow.
yeah.
Wow.
But
That's amazing.
yeah, but I managed and I made it. So thank God.
Mhm. But it's paying off though, right?
It
That's
is. It
what you,
is.
yeah,
It is.
that's
I
what you
actually just got
aspire.
off work today. That's why I said 5. So I'm using both my RN and my MP at the same time to
That's
work.
awesome.
That's the good thing about,
Yeah. But you
that.
say you work like various, you don't just like stay in one hospital. You go to like different.
Yep. So I started traveling nursing when I left upstate to come down here. That's when I
Okay.
started my traveling nursing. So I pretty much go where I guess they need help.
Yeah.
Um, so it's just, contract by contract. And if I want to stay there, I want to extend it, I'm always welcome to extend my contract. If not, contract is over, move on to the next assignment. So
Awesome. Awesome.
yeah.
So now let's talk, let's get into your business. So
Yay.
what made you okay, first of all, with everything you have going on, what made you start a business? Let's start with that.
I don't even know. I think
And
I'm
even
crazy.
after you started, what made you choose fashion?
Ugh, I love to dress up. I love to dress up. I think apart from when I was in college, one of the other things that kept me from doing my normal schoolwork was fashion shows. I used to be in fashion shows all the time,
Mm.
like almost every weekend. It wasn't even my
There's
major, but
that many fashion. Well, it is New
it looked
York,
like
so
it was
that
my
makes
major.
sense.
It was in college, so every
Yeah.
group, every organization wants to have fashion shows, and I wanted to be in every fashion show. I like walking on the runway. I like dressing up. I found that very, very interesting, very entertaining. It was a hobby of mine. Um,
Mhm.
So after I finished nursing and I had a stable job and stable career, I just wanted to start a little business for myself and actually um put together something that, because I know I would have a lot of people hit me up, where do you get this, where do you wear this, where did you get it
Mm,
from, where's this from? So part of it was what led me to create my own clothing line business, just to pretty much put out there what I would wear, what looks good on me, what I find beautiful, what I find comfortable. I normally don't wear a lot of pants or shorts or jeans. Most of the stuff I wear are dresses, and that's
this
what
is.
I like. And that's mainly what Aunt Adu is about. It's just dresses. Um,
Mm,
so that's how that idea started. It took a while. It took like a year and a half to really trying to find out who to work with, because right now it's I have a lot going on. I feel like I've always
yeah.
had a lot going on, but right now I have a lot going on. I have a wedding coming up in 5 weeks
Right.
and working and everything. So um, the whole plan was last year. I was actually supposed to go to Ghana for a while to actually learn how to sew on my own. I've been learning how to sew for a couple of months now, YouTube and everything, but I wanted to know hands on, obviously. That would always be the best so that I can actually design my own things. Like
Mm.
I just,
Oh,
right now I have a vendor that I'm working with, but I still feel like it doesn't really, it's hard having somebody put out your idea.
yeah.
No, it's
The
like you gotta
visual.
do it yourself. You gotta make it happen how you see it. Um,
Mm.
you gotta make it happen. And that's why like I'm really striving for being able to sew and make my own things.
Yeah,
Um,
but when you say that, you're just saying like you just make like maybe the initial dress or whatnot, and then you give it to someone to
right,
make the
right,
duplicate. Okay, that's what I said.
exactly.
That's a lot of work. You don't
It
have
is. It,
time.
I know. But eventually, I mean, I want to storm off into bridal stuff eventually, because that's where business is. Everybody
Girl, the events
married.
industry. Oh my goodness.
Yeah, it's right now
Don't
is
stare you wrong. Yep.
this is it. So I'm
Mhm.
trying to venture more off there, starting with bridesmaid dresses and then eventually bridal stuff. And also evening gowns. That's also
Mhm.
one of my things. I love long dresses, fitted dresses. I'm crazy about dresses. Oh my
Dresses,
God, you
yeah.
can see I'm wearing a dress right now. You can't tell, but I'm wearing a dress.
Mhm.
I'm crazy about dresses, but yeah, the goal is just to eventually design and make my own clothes, have a shop, have workers, people that are working, actually helping me, put my business and my idea out there. So then
Right,
bring it to life. So
right. So with your business and everything, let's talk about education versus entrepreneurship, right?
right,
What is your take on it? Like, say if the opportunity was presented to you,
right,
huge opportunity for you to go strictly business, would you go towards that? And
definitely,
really?
definitely. Because the thing is, the reason why I say that is I always have my degree to fall back on.
Yeah.
Whenever, God forbid, if nothing ever goes, I'm set. Like if I ever wanted to go back, I can always find a job within a month or two. But I feel like the business is right now, it's more of a, I find more interest in it than, okay, I mean, I like my job, but I feel
Mhm.
like I see the business as something that I might do long term,
Yeah.
um, as in compared to my job, which I mean, I can always work per diem if I needed to, but I see
Mhm.
myself fully incorporating myself into my business. Um, than than the education side. So definitely, I would definitely go with my business because I want to be my own boss. I want to create my own schedule. I don't want to
Mhm.
work for somebody's time. In this country, you only make money when you start your own business or when you work
Yeah.
for yourself. When you work for somebody else, you're clocking in. They decide what you get paid. But
They
when you work
decide your
for yourself,
time. Oh
you
my
decide
gosh.
exactly. You decide everything yourself. So that's definitely, I would definitely pick
Wow.
that. I would
So
definitely pick my business.
so in that respect, is that your goal to enter into full-time entrepreneurship?
Yes, I'm
Or okay.
praying about it. I'm praying about it right now. I have everything on hold because of what I have going on with
Okay.
preparations and everything. That's
Yeah.
why I haven't really been posting or adding any more collections or anything like that, because it's just, and running a business takes a lot. You have to put yourself in 100%. You can't do 50-50. And initially, before, I was kind of 50-50 because I'm split between work and now planning for a wedding and this and that. And it takes time away from what I want to do fully. So I'm just
Mhm.
hoping that, after everything, hopefully, God willing, next year, once I really have time to myself, take the time to myself and fully invest myself into this business. And then one day, praying that see how it goes, then 100%, but
100%.
always have my nursing degree to fall back on.
Right, definitely.
So.
So now that you're working with like vendors and everything, how is that experience? How do you choose the vendors to work with?
Well, the vendor, it's a lot of research that you have to do, because and it also has to do with your style and what you're looking for. Every vendor is different. Um, but most vendors can give you what you need. You give them
Mm,
the look you're looking for, they can supply it to you. But you just got to do a lot of research on who's good, who's gonna give you the best quality of product that you need. You can't just go to any vendor. Normally, I think how I started my vendor search was YouTube. I went on
okay.
YouTube. There are a lot of videos. There are a lot of people there. Sometimes there are a lot of people also out there who are selling lists of vendors, but it's free on YouTube.
Oh my goodness, it's the
Go on
most annoying
YouTube.
thing.
When you go on YouTube, it's free. There are so many people who do videos on free vendors, and they'll tell you which one is good. If you're looking for casual stuff, this is a vendor to look for. If you're looking for, different styles, there are different
Mhm.
vendors for, whatever your style is. So that's how I started. I went on YouTube, browsed around to really figure out who had a similar um style to mine, and then have them, give them the idea of what I'm looking for, and then have them produce it for me.
Right. So did they send you like what is it, a sample first, and then you kind of
Yep,
okay.
you can do a sample. Normally, yeah, you just have them make one, bring it, see how the quality is. If you're happy with it, you go ahead. If not, you move on to the next thing, or you can just tell them to change it to what you need.
Yeah, to what you need.
For yeah,
Yeah, because one thing I noticed is that some of the vendors they'll literally have the same thing, like the same dresses, like same picture. And I'm like, so how do you decide? So that makes sense. You kind of
right.
just order the
Yep.
samples and
I
then
wrote a sample just to see, because
yeah.
sometimes what you see is not really what it is.
Oh
I've
girl.
had a lot. I've had a lot of orders and not what it is, and waste of money. But that's all part of having a
It's all
business.
part of it, yeah.
Trial and fail, and you figure out what really works, for you. But a lot of stuff, and it looked nothing like that at all. But they didn't even fit. Can't even fit one leg through it.
Mm,
So it's just a
yeah.
trial and error, and then see what fits and who fits, who you can really work with. But I'm not so. It's not something that like I said, I intend on doing for a long time, because I don't want to rely on somebody else to put out my idea. I just want to be able to bring that idea out myself.
Yeah. Yeah,
Yeah.
that's good. One thing that I always think about with the fashion industry is always Ghana. Like the fashion industry in Ghana is like
Crazy.
moving very fast. Yes.
Yeah. Like,
I'm like, if say you create the design, so like that's what I was thinking about when you say you want to make it yourself. Like once you make it yourself, and then you give it to people in Ghana. You can
right.
like kind of create what is it, the size chart, and then they create the small,
They
medium, and
create a small,
large.
medium, right. Yep.
Yeah, because labor, paying for labor in the US or anywhere is going to be
Exactly.
harder.
It's ridiculous. And one thing
Yeah.
with even China is, as much as there's a lot of them that are always looking to work and create things for you,
Mm-hmm.
they don't always produce the best things. They don't
Mm-hmm.
always produce the best quality things, and that's my problem with them. That is a major, major problem with them, But I had a designer in Ghana that I really wanted to work with.
Nice.
But it's like I need to take that time off to go to Ghana to really. It's like I really want to learn how to sew on my own. Like I said, I
Mhm.
don't want to rely on other people to like do it for me. So,
Yeah.
but I do have a designer that I'm working with, and eventually, once everything is done and
Mhm.
will have my new, collection now and everything like that. So
Wow.
excited.
That's
Yeah,
awesome.
excited.
So to get into the fashion industry, I know we talked about like money to kind of waste a little bit on samples and
Right.
everything, but what is a good amount for someone if they wanted to get started in the fashion industry? What's a good amount to have saved before you even purchase
Girl.
anything? What's a good like starting? It could be a range of.
I think I'll give you a range, but I also think it depends on what you're going for,
Okay.
because every style is different. It requires different, how do I put this? I'll just give you a regular range, just in general. It doesn't matter if you're making dresses, pants, just clothing in general. I would say that if you are, it depends on how big too you want to start. I mean, but I would say normally when you're starting small, just see how it takes off. Um, let's see, a good range of how much to have when you're starting. It also depends if you're making it yourself.
That's
If
true.
you're not and you have somebody else making it, that's also going to be a different,
An additional cost.
yeah. But if you're making it yourself, that's going to be a little bit less because you're doing it yourself. But oh my God, it also I feel like it depends on so many things. But I would just say saved, a range of how much to just have saved just for the business, correct?
Yeah,
Um,
for the business.
10,000 at least,
Mm.
5 to 10.
Yeah,
I would say 5 to
that's a
ten.
good range.
But it's
Yeah.
on it depends on how big you want to start or how small you want to start. Because thinking of material, who's gonna make it, getting it here, if you're not doing it here,
Yeah.
shipping and all that, tags, bags, packaging, advertisement, photography, and it's a lot.
It's a lot. And we always talk about how China's cheap, but when
Exactly,
you
but
add shipping, it,
shipping alone could be $300. Just it
it could be
depends.
more than the
Yes,
product. It's
exactly, more than the product.
crazy.
That's actually one of the things that I face. Shipping is sometimes is more than the product that they're shipping because it's so damn far, you know.
Yeah.
Um, but you got to take that all into consideration. So where it's
Mm-hmm.
from, who's making it, how many you're making,
Yeah.
who's your target
Exactly.
audience? Yeah, who are you targeting, specifically?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
That's
how much
awesome.
you're planning on actually selling them for, how much you're getting them made, how much you're selling them for, all that. You
Right, right.
At the end of the day, you got to make profit, which you probably won't see for like a year or two, or sometimes
Mm-hmm.
you won't see that
Three.
for a while. Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
you won't see profit for a very long time. But
Yeah.
how big you start, how well you start,
How consistent too.
Yeah.
That's the big
Oh my
thing.
God, yes, consistency.
Yeah.
And
Mm-hmm.
advertisement, big on advertisement. Oh
Yeah.
my God, the way you showcase your products is everything.
Mm-hmm.
Because if somebody sees it and it catches their eye right away, they want to go to your website. They want to see what's there. You know, that
That's true.
gets people drawn to your page.
Mm-hmm.
Or more people viewing and people talking about it and sharing and telling their friends about it. So
Right, right.
all that takes money too. So
That's the thing. You have to spend money to make it.
exactly, exactly.
Yeah.
It's
So in
not easy.
terms of marketing, let's talk about marketing, right?
Right.
What's the I know you mentioned like having good pictures and everything, but what are ways of marketing your products in the fashion industry?
That's actually one thing that I'm working on right now, because
Okay.
this sort of industry is not my forte. It's not something that I'm into medical. I'm into medicine and stuff
Mm-hmm.
like that. So I'm actually working on hiring a marketing person who knows
Yeah.
all this stuff and how to um work in and actually help with proper advertisement and things like that. So that one I can't really speak so much for because I'm not an expert on that. Honestly, I would tell you. But so far I've just been um Googling, YouTube, researching uh,
Mm-hmm.
so much on how to market my things. I've been using, I mean, I have my website. I've been using social media platforms. I mean, that is like one of the major things um, that's helping so many small businesses out there.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
Like number one. So that's currently what I'm, you know,
definitely. So social media is definitely a big
mhm,
one. Okay.
definitely.
So for those people who want to get into the fashion industry or just business in general, based on your experience, what advice would you give someone who's just now starting out?
Research a lot, a lot. Like know exactly what you want, what you're looking for, and how to get it done.
Mm.
Um, put aside the money and how much it's gonna spend. But if you don't research and you're lost, you're gonna spend money on things that are not necessary, and you might end up liking something else. So
Mm.
you have to like actually research exactly what you want, what do you want to make, who's your target audience. To me, that's one of the biggest things. Who are your target audience? Who are you targeting? 'Cause you just can't target anybody and just put it out there and expect everybody to just. I mean, people are gonna see it, but who's it going to be more appealing to when they see it? Um, Once you know who your audience are, it will help you kind of figure out how to maneuver what kind of products you're making, where to advertise or where to market it, and things like that. So I would say definitely research a lot on, on the business that you want to start up on. Um, don't be scared to ask other people. I feel like that's one thing that I don't know about that Ghanaians, I don't know about any other. Some people are they don't like to share information.
Oh
They
man,
feel like people are
changing.
stealing from them, which is not
Mm-hmm.
the case with some people. And there are some people out there too who are just there to steal ideas.
Yeah.
They don't be scared to ask people for help. Help in terms of like how they started their business, what kind of
Mm-hmm.
resources they had that helped them. Because that's one of the things that I struggled with was with asking people. Because I didn't want people to feel like, oh, I'm trying to rip off their stuff. I'm trying to steal their ideas. I'm trying to
Mm-hmm.
follow them. No, it's just we're learning from each other. You started from
Yeah.
somewhere. I'm starting from somewhere. We're all trying to
Mm-hmm.
make it. It's not a competition. It's none of that. Um,
Right.
so it's just, asking around. That's also part of the research, asking around, having people help you, get into the idea of starting a small business. And then
Yeah.
definitely, I would say, yes, just save up, save up, save up. Don't be scared. You're going to make a lot of mistakes. You're going to spend money on things that are not necessary. But at the end of the day, if you know this is what you want to do and you put the work and effort in it, the results will show most of the
Yeah, it'll be worth it. And I'm glad you touched on that first one, the mentorship, because I feel like just growing up and everything, we didn't really talk about that as much as
time.
now. Like, and it sucks.
Not at all.
Oh, man,
Not at all.
but
But
yeah,
some people just don't like to share. That's human
it's
nature for
terrible.
some
But
people. But
and this
for
like, and the worst thing is the people that know they got the information from someone
from
else.
somebody, exactly. But then it's like they find it so hard sharing with you.
Yeah,
Sometimes it's human nature. That's how some people are naturally built.
yeah,
Humans,
yeah,
sometimes we're just selfish, naturally selfish. We don't, when we're doing good, we don't want somebody else to pass us. Feel like
hmm,
somebody else is gonna, overtake us, which is never the
yeah.
case. But yeah,
Exactly. Awesome.
yeah.
All right. So before we end, if you just want to talk about your 5-year plan, what investments do you plan on getting into? Do you have any other interests in any other field, or where do you see yourself in 5 years?
I think I have ventured enough. I don't think I see myself. I don't think I have room as much as I want to. I actually see myself doing IT. I feel like I want to do everything.
Oh
Um,
man, do it, girl. One life to live.
might as well. And I love money. So anything that I would do to get the money, live a good life, take care of my family, I'll do. But putting the IT aside, in 5 years, I see my business blooming, like
Mhm.
starting, okay, maybe 5 years. I'm hoping sometime in Ghana, like
Mm.
booming to Ghana, like starting, like actually opening up a shop or something in Ghana.
Do you
But
see yourself living there?
oh, I'm gonna move to Ghana eventually.
Get it, girl.
Not
Get it,
yet,
girl.
not now. Maybe no, not now. I'm still young. I have a
Eventually,
couple of
yeah.
years to live, to work, because I have even past the 5 years, I have long-term goals of building clinics in Ghana. I mean, I have a lot that I want to do. So I
Wow.
definitely want to move to Ghana some point in my life, maybe 40s, 50s.
Mm.
Maybe 40s is early, but like
Yeah.
into my 50s, at that time, God willing, I would have worked, save money. This business booming will help me to actually do what I want to do for my country. Um,
Exactly.
yeah, so definitely. But within the 5 years, it's just focusing more on my business because right now, after God willing, I get married, hopefully have kids. My business is the next thing.
Hmm.
If I'm secured with my education, I don't need to go back to school for anything else, and I'm not going back to school for anything else. I wanted to go get my doctorate, but no, no, I don't need it. I don't think I need it. But I definitely want to focus on the business aspect.
Yeah.
Um, eventually be my own designer. Just at
Mhm.
that time, hopefully have mastered making my own things. Uh,
Mhm.
and hopefully, like I said, getting into the bridal things like that. Like I'm working on the bridal bridesmaid collection. So,
Mhm.
which is a big thing for me. And um, so that's
Yeah.
the goal in 5 years, you know,
Awesome.
God willing.
Awesome. That is awesome. You have big plans, huge plans.
A lot of plans. Probably too many.
I love it. It's good. You're creative, so
Probably
that's
too many.
that's what you have to do. When your mind starts running, it just runs.
Yep, you gotta go with it. So,
Exactly,
yeah.
exactly. Well, thank you so much, Miss
No
Nancy, for coming
problem.
on the
I
podcast.
know.
Thank you for sharing all the information and not holding back like the
Oh
others.
no, definitely not. I don't know. I love to help people when it comes to like schooling is one of my biggest thing when it comes to helping people like and just putting fashion aside. Like if anybody's out there that wants to get into the nursing field that needs help, hit me up. Like I
Mm,
love talking to people that want to get into like the medical field, want to know more because I want to share my experience with people.
yeah.
I want to tell them my mistakes, what I went through and what I had to do and possibly make the process easier for them.
Hmm.
So anyone that's having trouble with that, you know, reach out to me. Anybody that's doing business wanna mentor, reach out to me. I'm
Right.
always open to learn. So
That's
open to help
awesome.
too. So
Yeah, that's good. It says a lot about your character, Nancy. That's
that,
really good. Very
yeah.
good. Awesome. Well, thank you once again. Thank you so much.
Time. This
All
was actually
righty.
exciting. This was actually more fun than I expected because I was really nervous.
Well,
Yeah.
I'm glad to hear that. Glad to
Yeah.
hear that.
Appreciate it. Yeah.